Right, well, we're continuing with football now and we're turning our attention to the UEFA Champions League. Well, 14-time winners Real Madrid will travel to the Allianz Arena to take on six-time champions Bayern Munich in first leg semi-final action on Tuesday. At the quarter-final stage, Real Madrid got by the defending champions Manchester City 4-3 on penalties after a 4-4 aggregate scoreline, while Bayern Munich defeated Arsenal 3-2 to book their semi-final spot. Well, both teams are coming off wins in their respective domestic leagues. Bayern edged Eintracht Frankfurt 2-1 on Saturday in the German Bundesliga, while Real won 1-0 over Real Sociedad in La Liga on Friday. Well, Brent Sancho, he joins us on Zoom to preview the semi-final tie. Welcome, Brent.
Thank you very much, Mariah. I hope you had a lovely weekend.
Yeah, of course, very, very restful, Brent. But it's now time to talk about one of my favorite SportsMax products, and it's Champions League. So tomorrow the action continues, and Real Madrid, the team that kicked my team out, will be up against Bayern Munich, and you know who I'm rooting for.
Real Madrid? No, just kidding. I know you're rooting for Bayern Munich, but look, it's a tie that pits, I believe it's 20 championships, but Champions League trophies between the two. Real Madrid seems to have some sort of ownership on this Champions League, and it should be an interesting, certainly an interesting semi-final clash. Both teams is filled with quality players from 1 through 11 and beyond, and of course, it's expected to be, and like these sorts of games where you pit, of course, two teams with a lot of quality and expected to be frantic, high-octane, and exciting football. And from where I sit, very close to call.
Yeah, and for me, you know, when I think about it, Jude Bellingham is somebody we have to discuss where Real Madrid is concerned, right? And Brent, a lot of the headlines and a lot of the angles that are being reported is, of course, if Jude Bellingham goes on to win this title with Real Madrid, a Champions League title. Now, the discussion and the comparison with what Cristiano Ronaldo did in his first year at Real Madrid becomes a big discussion. What do you think about Jude, one, and two, that discussion, the comparison?
Yeah, I've said so many times on this program that I really rate him as a footballer. I mentioned, of course, I was able to see him live. And I think television, Mariah, doesn't do him justice because his thinking is just as extraterrestrial. He sees the game differently. I've been fortunate to see a lot of top players play the sport. He reminds me of a Lionel Messi in terms of his thinking and what he's looking at and how he sees the football game, how he sees a pass, how he sees a run, where he sees a run, the weight of his pass. I mean, everything that he does from a thinking perspective is just out of this world, and you have to keep pinching yourself and reminding yourself this is his first season at Real Madrid. He's still quite a young player as it relates to his age, and you would think that he has a lot to do still in this sport. And here we are discussing, of course, comparisons with some of the greatest that ever played the sport so early in his career, and rightfully so because of what he's been able to do. I don't think anyone would have projected the sort of success he's had so far coming into Real Madrid. Real Madrid is easily in the top two, maybe one, as it relates to football platforms to ply your trade, and how difficult it is. The scrutiny. You hear Xavi and other coaches and players talk about the pressure of playing at that level, and he's gone in there and taken it with both hands and have delivered, even with the same ease that he's taken it on.
Yeah, for me, and I always say this, whenever Karim Benzema was playing for a Real Madrid team, you know that team was coming out all guns blazing. But Brent, when he left, I thought, because I was totally wrong, that Real Madrid would have that gap. Then Jude Bellingham, the youngster, comes in, and it's as if nobody talks about Karim Benzema anymore. Because if you notice, in Barcelona, we always talk about, Messi is missing. Whenever the team goes, everybody says it's the post-Messi era. We never talk about the post-Karim Benzema era.
No, you're right. And I remember when Benzema left and Real Madrid started in the transfer market, there was talks about Kylian Mbappe coming. And of course, that was put to bed quite early in the transfer market. So there was a lot of concern amongst Real Madrid fans and pundits alike that whether or not Real Madrid would be able to play without a recognized striker. And lo and behold, give Carlo Ancelotti, of course, some credit, but Jude Bellingham, the winningest and the talent to be able to do it. And we saw shades of it in their preseason tour in the US and what they were looking to do. And I just thought to myself, they can't get away with this for the entire season. And they have not only gotten away with it, Mariah, they have reveled in it. They've been phenomenal. He's been very difficult to locate and to track from other teams' defensive perspective. He times his runs to perfection. And it's almost, as you rightfully said, that this striker crisis, quote unquote, that Real Madrid is supposed to have had is something of the past. It's never happened. You're right. And now we're looking at the possibility of a quote unquote striker-less Real Madrid going all the way to winning the Champions League.
Yeah, and there's this man I'm rooting for. He's on the opposing team, Harry Kane. He's somebody that I was saying to Lance in the break that I really want to see him do well. You know, it's as if you have a player that you have admiration for, Brent. He's never played for any of your teams. You know, he's never played for them. But you feel as if he deserves some silverware. That's Harry Kane for me. What do we expect from him tomorrow?
Yeah, look, I think let's put things into perspective. I think he's going to win some sort of silverware with Bayern Munich. There's no doubt in my mind that that's capable. He's had an astonishing first season, and of course his goals shows for that. What he brings to this Bayern Munich team in terms of his link-up play, in terms of his abilities to make the right runs, and of course, most importantly, to put the ball into the back of the net, makes him a genuine threat. And he may be looking at this situation. Look, this is my first season. We haven't done quite well in the Bundesliga. We didn't do well in the knockout situations in Germany, but he still has an opportunity to win a trophy. And he's 180 minutes or so away from getting into finals. And he may be looking at it as a situation of doing well to get past that. Again, as I said, Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, they would look at each other's camp and think that both have enough quality players in there to win this football game. And when you add a Harry Kane to this mix, from a Bayern Munich perspective, there's no way you can count them out.
Yeah, and the fact is, to strengthen the point that you just made, Brent, his debut season at Bayern Munich has been tremendous, hasn't it? He's broken his own seasonal record for goals in all competitions, now at 42, which tops the 41 goals he scored in all competitions for Tottenham 2017-2018. So to think that he has come to Germany in his first season and had his best ever season of football scoring-wise and end trophyless is a tough pill to swallow, especially from a Bayern Munich team who usually close their eyes and win the Bundesliga.
Yeah, and you have to add some context to that. It's a Bayern Munich team that's really been hit severely through injury. Some of their top attacking players have been sidelined for quite some time. I think a Thomas Tuchel that seemingly couldn't find the right formula at Bayern Munich. And defensively, they've been very frail, something that you don't mention when you're talking about a Bayern Munich team. And you don't see that happening next season. That's why I made the statement that he will win silverware with this Bayern Munich team. So they've been unfortunate. Now, when you zero in, of course, at the task at hand and what's to come, this is a Bayern Munich team could look at it as a two-game situation. A conversation that we don't have enough is, of course, the away goals rule changing, and that does change the complexity of a tie and how teams approach it. So Bayern Munich could be looking at this and saying, no, we just have two football games to play against, yes, a very well-respected and good Real Madrid team, but it's not above and beyond the stretch of the imagination that they could come out of this, because they have the quality there. They have players coming back from injury. And as I said, the tie and how the new rules are, they do have a chance of getting a result, if not in one, but certainly in both games.
And they need a result, Brent, because if they get knocked out of the UEFA Champions League before winning the title, they would have gone 12 or 13 seasons with trophies. This would be their first trophyless season in 12 or 13 years, which for them is almost unheard of. But you touched on it just now. Real Madrid is just the team to end their UEFA Champions League quest.
Yeah, they are. And look, if you're sitting in that Bayern Munich changing room, that's exactly what you've been thinking. We've already had a disappointing season. We have nothing to lose, meaning that they're going to give it their all. They're looking at this as a situation where they can win some silverware. They're looking at it as a possibility. Whether you play Real Madrid in the semi-final, Lance, or you play them in the final, you would have to go through them to win this Champions League. And they would feel that if they can get a result here in this particular fixture, I'm quite sure the players be looking at the PSG and Dortmund situation as this here is our final against Real Madrid. All due respect to those two teams in PSG and Dortmund, this here against Real Madrid is our final. So they may feel that if they put all into this effort over 2 legs, that they can't get a result. But yes, again, you're coming up against a Real Madrid team that just don't know how to lose in this competition.
Yeah, they are not favorites in this tie for sure. Added to that, Carlo Ancelotti, a man you have already documented your respect for, has an unbeaten record against Bayern Munich, both managing AC Milan and Real Madrid. So Thomas Tuchel will have to plan strategically to try to get a result out of this one.
Yeah, I think he will have to look at how we approach, and you have to add to the fact they're playing at home first and at the Allianz, and they would have to, Bayern Munich will have to get a result there. There's no doubt about it, because you're coming against, as I said, a Real Madrid team that just don't know how to lose. And what we've seen from this carnation of Real Madrid team is that they know how to suffer without the ball. When you look at the Man City tie, they defended for very long periods. I was very comfortable doing it. I was very comfortable playing in transition. Players like Vinny Juniors and Bellingham, etc., was putting in the work defensively. How many times can you say that about a Real Madrid team throughout the years? That's something that possibly would have been their Achilles heel. So Carlo Ancelotti has been able to find different dimensions of this Real Madrid team, find different flexibilities of this team, which I think has made them resilient, which has made them match winners, which has made them tournament winners. And he is evolving as a manager, because I am very sure no one, or not many coaches I should say, would have come up with this this tactical approach that he currently has. And I think a lot of it is down to the fact that he trusts his players. And when you hear past players talk about Carlo Ancelotti, that's what you hear. He trusts his players, he puts his trust in them, and he's able to allow them to express themselves.
Yeah, and Brent called this one for us. Let's see if we can trust you as the prediction person. I can't say prediction guru because it was about to slip off, but then Leger would have a problem with me. So what do you predict?
Well, I did say back in December, I believe it was, or November, that Real Madrid will win the Champions League. I think and Jude Bellingham is the best footballer in the world, and I think I raised a couple eyebrows there. So I'll stay the course, Mariah, and I would say tomorrow's result may be a draw, but I do see Real Madrid winning this tie overall. 2-2 tomorrow, 2 apiece.
Right. Well, Brent, we'll see how that works out if you are the actual prediction guru and we need to take away that title from Leger. Only time will tell. But thank you so much, and of course, we'll talk again soon.
All right, guys, have a great one.
All right, Brent Sancho there, of course, from sweet Trinidad and Tobago. We're taking a quick break, but we're coming right back.